actually started in February 4 years ago, which would be 2005. I was at a cemetery at a graveside service, and we had to make sure that our family, because this was for a cousin, we were making sure that our family had warm coats. It was in February and it was rainy and drizzly. Just a nasty day. And I stood there listening to the pastor start to talk, and they traditionally do the psalm where it's "The Lord is my shepherd." And I heard those words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And when I heard "I shall not want," I realized that I didn't really want for a lot, that Dan and I have our basic needs met. We have clothing, we were warm, we have a home. And God spoke to me and laid it on my heart that there are a lot of people that don't have the clothing, that don't have the homes, and there are many, many needs. So out of that, we took a load of coats to the Salvation Army shelter. And I originally thought that that's all God had wanted me to do. But when I got there, they handed me a sheet of paper as I left and said, "You might want this." And on that sheet of paper were all the different agencies in Anderson County and surrounding that help with needs of homeless and unfortunate. So God just began a ministry like that. So we continued to take clothing to the shelter. And then we were given the opportunity on a New Year's Day project. The men's ministry of First Baptist Church had decided that God was telling them to do something for the community, so they wanted to do a meal. And on New Year's Day 2006, the first meal, and it was for homeless, for any needy person, and about 250 people showed up, and with that they asked us to do coats. So that very first January, after we had started in February, we began to ask people for coats. And so that ministry has blossomed into what we have now called Righteous Threads. This house that we're in is a children's clothing ministry, and in it we will provide clothing for needy children, for needy families. There are right now 140 children in School District 5, which is all around us, that are homeless, technically homeless. There's also a crisis pregnancy center just 3 blocks over from us. We have a baby room. We'll be accepting clothing from newborn all the way to teen and college appropriate clothing, so up to 12th grade, and just providing this free. We want to be able to let the teachers, the social workers, foster parents for foster kids to come in and get a week's worth of clothing for children, what they need. We're actually doing a baby shower the whole month of April. SunTrust Banks, there's 4 here in Anderson, are hosting this, and they're allowing us to put baby beds in each of their branches, and they're giving all their customers that come in an invitation to our showers, and they will let them know that they can bring in baby items from newborn all the way to 24 months, diapers, formula, baby food, onesies, whatever's needed, and those will come here, and we will share those with the Crisis Pregnancy Center and other needy families in this area.
The building, it's a building that we already had, and we've used it for various ministries in the past. So we knew about the need. It seemed to be the right building to meet that need. Threads of Hope could certainly fill it with clothing. It just seemed to be the right structure for the right need. Peggy Fricks, who heads up Threads of Hope, is a member of the congregation, she and Dan, and it was just another way that we could be involved in that ministry.
It's grown tremendously just from that one load of coats that it started out. But over the 4 years, I have some big visions. God's given me large visions. Dan and
More
I,
churches are
yes,
starting to get involved and wanting to help with adult clothing and open their own clothing closets and such, and so it's starting to spread through the community. It's not just First Baptist now, it's a lot of other churches that's wanting to help also, because one just can't handle all of the clothing. We're focusing on the children's, and we need some for adults, and maybe one with office clothing or job interview clothing and such, so forth. So it's getting out there, it's starting to grow.
That's our vision, is that whatever we're able to do, that we can share that through other churches, the whole community uniting, because we have agencies now that help, like AIM, that helps with families. We have the Homeless Coalition. We've got agencies that help with child abuse, with women's shelters. But if we all pull together and try to compartmentalize, like we're doing with the children's ministry, and like Dan mentioned, there's a church that's interested in doing a interview clothing, job clothing. If we could have a church that had a shoe closet, that we could put all the shoes in there, then we can meet all the needs, and all we have to do is, when we get a call, we have a family coming in later today that lost their home this week. So when they come in, they're going to be able to get what they need. But if we had a shoe closet, we could call that ministry and say, here are the sizes that we need. We've got a family that's coming over that needs shoes. So I see 4 years down the road, God having tremendous, tremendous doors opening for us and ministries in place. Threads of Hope is kind of like an umbrella. We're just here to see where the needs are and try to help those ministries get up and going.